Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. This is the story podcast where I bring someone on to tell their Liverpool story. My name's Daz. If you're just tuning in for the first time, we've got the Crimbo period coming up. Our mate Glenn is sorting out his Christmas quiz as we started last year, so. Look forward to that. Also got a couple of really good football and music one-on-one episodes coming out. Dave Seaman, DJ and producer. He's a Leeds fan, but it's a really good pod. And but I am happy to welcome my next guest. I've been wanting to get her on for some time. She's had some stuff going on. I've had some stuff going on, but she's here today, and that's what counts. She's an author, illustrator, designer. I mean, all three of those are just fantastic by themselves. And she's got the bossest of names. Her last name is Poole. I mean, you can't get any better than that as a Liverpool fan, but I'd like to welcome Helen Poole to the podcast. We've been chatting probably for like about 45 minutes. I should have pressed record 45 minutes ago.
Had all the fun before the record button went on.
I know, but I think it's always good to have a chat before. Then you kind of feel each other out. You're like, this guy's not going to be a knobhead.
Oh, well, we'll see. There's plenty of time.
Yeah, there's plenty of time for me to be a knobhead.
No, I'm talking about me.
Oh, all right. There's plenty of time for Helen to be a knobhead. Obviously, you're a Liverpool supporter. Take me back. As a youngster, was your household all red, or was it, this spotty blues in there?
Well, my household was just me, my mum and my dad. We're all red. But then all my dad's siblings all red. But on my mum's side of the family, they're all blue. So my cousins, me and my cousin, my first match actually, I'm probably jumping the gun here, but my first match actually was the derby at Goodison. Me, my dad, and my cousin Neil. He's 2 years younger than me, so it was 1990. So I was 11, giving away my age here. So I was 11, and our Neil must have been 9. And don't know how, but we got tickets in the Everton family enclosure. And obviously, first match I'd ever been to. And like, my dad kept having to tell me to like turn round, because every time someone was effing and jeffing at like John Barnes or whatever, I was turning round like snarling at them. And my dad was like, Helen, watch the match. I was like couldn't get over it. I was like, they're saying really horrible things, Dad. So me and our Neil used to always have banter, because in them days in the 80s we had quite a lot of cup games and cup finals and stuff against each other. So he's actually got a season ticket now at Goodison, God love him. But then the first match, I'll go into a bit more detail about these, but the first match I went to at Anfield, this was like probably even worse. She'll kill me for saying this, so I might not tell her that I've even done this, but my dad, it was me, my dad and my dad's younger sister, and she like celebrated with me like wildly when we equalised. And then a few years later, she met an Evertonian. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? She did the dirty switch. And I have to say to her now, you were at my very first match at Anfield. And she's like, shut up. I was like, yeah, you were. And you were made up when we were winning. So, yeah, she's the black sheep of the family. But, she chose that path, and it's a dark path she walked. So, but my dad, my granddad, and his siblings, apart from the dirty turncoat. They all had season tickets at Anfield. So the ritual was we'd all go to my nan's because she lived right by the ground. So every Saturday we'd pile into my nan's, and we'd have, if it was an away match, they'd have the radio on, we'd all be sitting there and they'd all be shouting and screaming and stuff. And then if there was a home match, everyone would pile in there, get the season tickets, go off to the match, and then come back. And my nan would have soup ready for them all because they'd all be freezing after the match and stuff. So so Saturdays were all very much based around my nan and granddad's house and the footy, basically. But it was, look back, and it was great. And that's what inspired the books, which I'll come on to later.
So is it like, do you still do that with Nan and Grandad, or
no, they've passed away, my Nan and Grandad now. So
so you got the memories though. That's a great thing.
Yeah, and it was brilliant. Like I can't even really remember a Saturday where I didn't go to my nana's. My mum loved it because she got a bit of peace in the house. She got to do a bit of cleaning up and got a bit of peace. And me and my dad would bugger off to my nana's every Saturday. And it was only, I think it was probably about, I can't remember what year, 2020, I think, or 2019. I'm losing track of all the years, but my nana passed away, I think, in 2019. Yeah, 2019. So it was sad because we had to sell the house, and all the memories that are in there. It was horrible. It was really horrible. But as you say, you've got all the memories, and we still all talk about it. And we've swapped to me uncles now. My dad, we tend to go to my uncles over a weekend to watch the footy and stuff now. So yeah, we've just switched locations. Same stuff, just switched locations.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the turncoat.
I know. She was never like, because her sister, because there's 5 of them, so the 4, my dad's 2 brothers and my other auntie, they were all like proper red hot Liverpudlians that go away. My auntie went to Paris, and was that 81? Was it Paris? I'm sorry, my
up.
Yeah. So she was going everywhere, whereas my other auntie, the turncoat, she's the youngest, so she never really she wasn't really as into it as everyone else. But she was a red at some point. And then but she's now got a season ticket for she went to Nottingham Forest the other day in the freezing cold. I was like, dear. So we've got this little, we don't say anything, we've got this little silent, we've got our own little separate Liverpool family group where we do all the slagging off of Everton and stuff. And we keep her out of it. We just try and be a bit nice, we just say nothing and know what's going on, but we say nothing.
Yeah, she must be gritting her teeth.
Yes. The thing is, though, she really misses my granddad, and he was a big red, so I think somewhere in there she must still have a little bit. And I don't know, she's not saying. Definitely not letting her watch this.
She's going to get coal in her stocking this year. Just like all Evertonians, that's what they'll get this year. Yeah, they're a funny bunch, aren't they?
I know. Well, my nephew, so my cousin who I went to my first match with, his son now is a big football fan. He's only 7, but he's really getting into it. And he obviously loves Everton like his dad. And I actually put him in my Liverpool book. Not I wasn't doing it in to cheese him off, but I've got all my other nieces and nephews in it, and I didn't really want to leave them out. So I keep saying to him, yeah, but you're in my Liverpool book, and he just goes. And he keeps saying, will you do an Everton book? And I'm like,
why?
And when I go around a lot of schools as well, and they all say to me, when are you doing an Everton book? And I'm like, well, they win a cup at the end. That's the problem. So, I said to some of them, be a bit like a pamphlet though, wouldn't it? More like a pamphlet than a book.
It's just it'd be a sad ending, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be one of those weepies.
Nothing since 95. Oh, well.
I have done like a couple of other clubs, and people keep saying to me, oh, like, it doesn't make business sense not to do like the likes of Man U and Man City, and well, not Man City, because who's going to buy one of them? There's only about 5 of the fans, isn't there?
It might do really well overseas, though.
Yeah. But I just the thought of sitting and drawing Alex Ferguson and Ryan Giggs, I just don't think I could do it.
Yeah, that would make me a bit sick. Yeah, I respect Sir Alex. I do.
Yeah.
You have to with what he's won, not just at United, but at Aberdeen as well.
Yeah.
I can't believe like Aberdeen were one of the best in Europe back in the day. They won the Cup Winners' Cup and the Super Cup. So you've got to give him that respect, but still, he's old red nose to me.
Yeah, there's just some things you can't do. I just don't think, which is why I feel bad saying this, but this is why I haven't actually put Michael Owen in any of my books, because it's a bit tainted for me, really. I feel bad, but he gave me one of the best days at Cardiff, but he hasn't made it yet.
As a pundit, he's just so bizarre, just with the stuff he says, like coming out going, whoever scores the most goals will win.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's really deep, Michael. Well done. Really.
Really, really profound, yeah.
That really came out like, come on.
Have you seen that that advert he did for Dubai?
Yeah.
Where is he like a pilot or something in a helicopter or a plane? It's the worst thing. I have to watch that after this just to remind myself how bad it is. It's just horrific.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? I mean, like I loved Owen as well. I mean, Keegan's my childhood hero. I mean, I went to the match when I was 6, and he left when I was 7. So only got to really see him for a year, but it's just, something about him I just stuck to. And then it was John Barnes for me. I mean, I know that kind of the younger, not so young now, but younger generation, it was Fowler and Owen. I mean, Owen couldn't put a foot wrong, but when he got a bit, bigger than his boots, and then Real Madrid, didn't do too well over there. And then with, the whole, coming back, yeah, obviously it was like Newcastle, but United, come on.
I know, that was the final thing, wasn't it? I still can't get over it, really. Sad though, isn't it? Because like that cup final, I was there, the Millennium Stadium against Arsenal. Like, what are those 2 goals? Like, I think I ended up about 10 seats from where I should have been. It was, it was brilliant. Like, it was just euphoric, wasn't it? And it's just mad to think how it turned out. But, we always have that memories, but it is, he did kind of ruin him. Because I don't know, he's just not got that legend status like everybody else now, has he, really?
Well, that's I think on Twitter there was like, do you consider Michael Owen a Liverpool legend?
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah,
and it's tainted for me.
It is. I agree.
He could have gone to any other team, but United. Well, and I think he just did an interview. I forgot who was doing the interview with, but with what's his name from TalkSport, Jordan, Palace owner. Simon Jordan, sat down with him, and he was just going on like Terry Sheringham had called him and said, like, Sir Alex, wants you to come to United. That's when I would have put the phone down. I mean,
Like,
for me,
having a laugh.
I'd be like, sorry, I can't,
Yeah,
I can't do that. I can't. Come on.
I
But he
know.
did it, and I think that's what really tainted it for me. So for me,
Definitely.
he was a great player for Liverpool, but I
Yeah,
can't. He was a legend.
I know. I'm the same. So sorry, Michael, you didn't make the cut. I'm sure he's absolutely devastated.
Yeah, sure he's crying.
He is. Can't sleep at night or anything.
So who was your favourite player growing up then?
Well, John Barnes, when I was young, very young, I wasn't very young, but obviously the first match, I did refresh my memory before, actually. I could remember the scoreline of my first match, but I did have to look it up because I couldn't quite remember who scored. So the first match was Goodison as Derby, as I said, and we won 3-2. And Beardsley scored the first goal, John Barnes second, and Beardsley again scored the third. So I just loved John Barnes so much. And I remember I was terrified that someone was going to buy him. I used to say to my dad all the time, he's not going to go, Dad, is he? John Barnes isn't going to go. I was like, really, like, terrified someone would come in and swoop and he'd leave us. So he was my favourite when I was young. And then I did have a bit of a thing for Steve McManaman in like 92 onwards. I discovered we had the same birthday for a start, so I felt like we were somehow connected. So I was like, so I just loved him. And we were decorating last year, and when we took the wallpaper off, it said underneath, Steve McManaman is fit, 1992. Honestly, and I found a diary and I'd written his name all over it. And I remember, my light's going. I remember meeting him in Dulce's shoe shop in town. Me and my mates had gone after school, and we all went all like unnecessary because he was in there with a girl. And the shop woman came in and she was like, yes, it is him. And I was like, yeah, I know it's him. And he signed our shoe receipt. So we were all like, oh my God, just that Steve McManaman in the shoe shop. So yeah, I loved it. And I remember the Sunderland FA Cup final where, was he man of the match? As I say, my memory's not what it was, but was that 1992 as well? I'm testing you now. I should have swatted up on this, but we played Sunderland in the FA Cup, didn't we? And I think we won 2-0. And he was like the hero of the hour. So I remember I had pictures of him all over me bedroom, and yeah. But it's funny because now he gets on me wick a little bit. When he does his faux posh voice, I have to like mute the telly because one minute he's just dead scouse, and then he'll say he's playing really well. And it's like, no, stop it. It goes through me. So yeah, I loved him, and Jamie Redknapp, that type of thing. And but my dad was a referee, so my dad got to referee like the A team and B team quite a bit, and he was doing the A team once, and it was just before. It was a Saturday morning, and I don't think we were playing till Sunday or Monday. So the full team were there when my dad was reffing at Melwood. So he took me and my mate with him, and like we were like walking in like this, we're with the referee, And I remember getting a picture sat on a wall in between Steve McManaman and Jamie Redknapp. And do you know what? I have got no idea. I was only thinking the other day, where are them pictures? But I was like that. I looked like terrified in the middle. But it was in the days of like John Scales and Don Hutchison and all of them. So I've got loads of photos somewhere if I can, but I just don't know where they are. I remember I was obviously arty then. I drew a picture of John Scales dressed as John Barnes, dressed as James Bond.
I hope not.
Just as James Bond. And I can't remember how it happened now, but I got him to sign it for me. I've probably still got it somewhere. So yeah, so that I grew up, that Spice Boy era, and that was my first Wembley match as well.
The
Despite
terrible suits.
the white suits, yeah, cream suits, white suits, whatever they were, yeah. So that was one to forget, really.
Yeah, yeah. I who did I interview? Um, that talked about those suits because I was like, whose idea was that to wear those suits? Plus, like their shoes weren't all the same.
Oh,
Well, like, some had brown shoes on, some had black, some had blue. I'm like, what's going on? Like,
no, should have coordinated that a bit better, shouldn't they?
yeah, it was terrible, but yeah,
Yeah, that was a horrible coach journey home. That after that match, I remember. But yeah, but apart from that, I think I've got quite good success at finals. Yeah, I don't think I've been to any other that we've lost. Hmm, I'm sure I'd remember, but yeah. So I've went off on a tangent there, didn't I? But yeah, as I say, my first match at Anfield, Steve McManaman scored the winner in the 100th minute. Because I remember that was when me and my auntie, before she turned, was we were all like screaming, yeah, and I was made up because it was him, Steve McManaman had scored, and yeah, so 1990 my first match at Goodison, and 92 was my first match at Anfield, and then I got my season ticket in 1996. My dad had surprised, I don't know how he got it, but he surprised me for passing my GCSEs. Like he said, close your eyes, got a present for you. And in them days it was like the booklet, wasn't it? So he put the booklet in my hand, and I was like, oh my god, sitting on my own because they all had their seats. So, but yeah, it was great. But obviously the 90s probably wasn't the best time to start going, really, was it?
Yeah, but I mean, if you were going during the 90s, I mean, you're a proper fan.
Yeah.
That's why I find it so funny. These days, like the younger generation, all they know is like us winning with Klopp.
Yeah.
So
Oh, no.
the winning man mentality's there, but like in the
Yeah.
90s, on a cold, rainy, freezing night, watching us lose constantly, it's still supporting because that's what being a supporter is all about. When
Exactly.
you're drawn, and I think a lot of people have kind of lost that.
Yeah.
If we're not winning, then sack the manager,
I
get
know.
get rid of A, B, C player.
Yeah.
Like the other night with Kelleher.
I
Uh,
know.
he's crap.
I
He's like,
know.
yeah, last season or the season before, everybody was like, he's the best number 2 in the world.
Yeah. I
So
know.
people are so, fair weather football fans these days.
Yeah. We had to put up with all kinds, didn't we?
Yeah,
So
and like, back, especially for me, like 70s and 80s, football hooliganism was still out there, so, it was tough to like go to a match and then get your arse beat but
no.
on the pitch and then get your arse beat like going home.
Yeah. No,
People
you don't
don't
want
understand
to.
how bad it was back then. But I being a John Barnes fan, as yourself as well, have you seen that commercial he's on with the quality streets?
No, I don't think I have. What, recently or?
Yeah, after you get off of this, if you want a good laugh, get on YouTube and put Quality Street. It's a recycling rap he does.
Oh no! Oh, that's going to be a winner, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's the same kind of rap as the Liverpool rap.
Well, I have
definitely not quality.
I had to put a nod to his rap in the second book because I remember being dead proud in school that I knew all the words to the Anfield rap. There was me and a lad in my class, and we were just like singing it. I remember we were going on a school trip once and we were just singing it word for word on the coach, like a pair of hooligans when we were about 8. Oh dear. But oh no, I'll have to look at that. Well, I did meet John Barnes when my first book had come out, and he had a look at it and that, and he was like saying, "Oh, can you do me a bit thinner?" I was like, "Neck, John, you're dead thin on that picture." But he was dead nice. I've met him a couple of times actually. But yeah, he'll always be like me proper fave.
There was something about him, wasn't there, that I'd never seen a player like do some of the stuff he'd done, like the dribbling. You know, I actually met him over there as well. He came to the supporters group, because one of my mates is co-host on the pod. He's the president of the supporters group. So he brought John over, so it was really nice to meet him.
Oh, brilliant.
For like 30 minutes, though, we talked about Watford. Yeah, like to everyone talking about Watford, and I'm just looking around going, this is a Liverpool supporters group. I don't care about Watford.
Oh, God.
But he's just a nice fella, but like, yeah, I'd never seen a footballer play like he did, you know.
I know.
And he was big lad.
Yeah.
Not skinny and a six pack. He had some meat on him, and he got around that pitch like really quick.
I know. Old Digger, as he used to get called. Yeah. Oh God.
I want to talk about your book. I know you've done one on Leeds and Celtic as well.
Yeah.
But if people didn't know, Helen did a book, and it's for all ages as well, which I really like.
Well, it's marketed as a children's book, isn't it? But I did it with adults in mind as well.
Yeah, which I think is really good. It's called The Fields of Anfield Road, and I'm going to let you tell everyone a little bit about it and where the idea came from.
Yeah, well, this is I've got them here, like already. Here's one I prepared, one I made earlier. So that's the first book, The Fields of Anfield Road. And again, like I knew I wanted to do, I was tasked with doing some children's products for Liverpool, and I knew, well, I want to do a book. And the first thing that came to mind was the me Saturdays in my nana's and everyone going the match, and like I wanted it to relate to people and families, how they have their like match day rituals, and like my auntie's house, she's got like, it looks like a blooming museum with all the like figurines and stuff. So one of the pages is kind of based on their house, and pets named after Shankly and stuff like that. So I wanted to make it about a Liverpool crazed family who people can relate to, and how they cope when they lose, and hopefully it's not often. And just like as well, it was designed for different generations to read it together. So I've put like the likes of 70s legends in there, 80s legends in there, 90s. So granddads, grandmothers, mums, dads can sit and go, oh, he was my favourite player growing up, and so they can have like a conversation with the kids and say, just explain stuff. And this spread here, this was my favourite one to do. This was, so the Grandad, his little trip down memory lane where this is all the European Cups. So and you can see all his different 80s, 70s, the different kits and stuff. I absolutely loved doing that page. So, and I've had feedback of people saying that that's what they do. They chat with the kids and say, oh, this is where we were when we watched that final and stuff like that. So yeah, so I feel like I have achieved what I set out to, and the response has been great. And then they asked me to do the second book, which because the first one had sold really well, which is the same family, but they go on a Liverpool treasure hunt. So this was an opportunity to put in stuff that I hadn't put in the first book. So obviously we've got that many legends and stuff. I was once, being such a Liverpool fan, I honestly probably nearly died doing the first book because there was so much pressure put upon myself, only by me, but it was my dream come true. I thought, this, I've peaked. This, I'm never going to get better than this. This is the best opportunity I've ever had in my life. So I was like making myself ill, like making sure that everything was perfect. And I had my family mithered. I was like, do you think I should put him in? And what do you think of this? And honest to God, it was a real labour of love. So when I met Steve McManaman, we went on one of those Legends tours. I gave him my book, but I did have to explain to him that he wasn't in it. I was like, sorry, Steve, you're not in the first book, but I will put you in the second one. So I did as I was told, and I put him in the second book. So yeah, I always felt like, I don't want to leave anyone out. I don't want anyone to be like, oh, why am I not in it? Not that I'm sure half of these players don't even know these books exist, but that's how I was when I was doing it. I was like, oh no, I want to make sure I get people in. So I was able to put the likes of Thiago and Trent and a nod to the Barcelona game and stuff in the new book. And I think I managed to squeeze a nod to Darwin in there because he signed just as it was going to print. So he's in there. But there's loads of players past and present in there. So it's a rhyme and picture book. So yeah, so they're going really well. I'm just, as I say, it's my dream come true. Don't know if I can top that.
I mean, yeah, for any Liverpool fan, that's a proud moment. I mean, last year, the podcast was in the Arsenal programme when we played Arsenal. So I feel like I made it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in smack right in the middle, 2 pages on the podcast.
Oh, brilliant.
And that was the proudest moment because, again, this podcast is an ode to my granddad. Again, growing up, he took me to the match and he tried to tell me all these old stories. And I didn't really listen because I was playing footy myself and chasing girls, as you do as a young lad. So this is an ode to listen to other people's stories and take that in. Yeah. So, when yourself as well, I mean, you've got 2 books.
I know. I think I've really thought about it. I'd be totally I'd probably crumble and be overwhelmed. Sometimes I don't like to actually think about what it is and what I've done because I probably just wouldn't believe it. But I did that talking to Grandad's, I dedicated this to my granddad because he passed away in 2012. So I put my granddad in it. There's my granddad there, and there's me there, self in it. You can't put yourself in your own book, So yeah, he would have been made up, and my dad as well. I remember when it first, he first held the first. My dad was like, "I'm so proud of you," and we were. But my granddad and 2 of his sons used to sit together, and he used to always take his radio, to listen to the halftime scores. And once he got his radio out and he brought the remote control instead. He had the TV remote in his pocket all match.
I bet your nan wasn't happy.
And she had the
radio.
Yeah.
But Sally's not coming on.
Trying to get Brookie on like that. But yeah, it's just I just feel like Liverpool and going the match was such a big part of my childhood and seeing everybody else go in the match and stuff. So it's just brilliant. I just love that I've been given the opportunity, and there is something else I would like to do with the club, which I am trying to make happen. So we'll see for next year. But yeah, so
how long does it take you, to do the whole book? Like, because obviously you're the writer and the illustrator. So how
Yeah.
from from day one to day.
The writing is actually, I find the writing like it's so I can probably write the whole story in a couple of days, so nice and quick. But the illustrations take forever. Like this one here, where are we? Got makeup all over my hands, so I'm getting makeup on the book. Where are we? This one, like this spread, probably took a whole week to draw because we've got, all the legends in the back. We've got like little details like the cop on the book and all the little heads there. And yeah, it was a lengthy process. So it's hard to say. Usually, like I'd like to say 6 months would be a nice, easy time frame. But usually for me, I am a bit of a last minute person. I wish I wasn't, but unfortunately, this is the way I am. I have to just accept this is me. So I usually find myself cramming everything in like 4 weeks before it's got to go to print. And I'm like, oh God. So I think I actually got this all illustrated in probably maybe about 6 weeks.
Wow.
But it was constant. I'm not joking. It was constant, like waking up, not even like getting a wash, pulling the computer on, start work, like not even moving for food, just working and go to sleep, doing the same again. And I actually, as much as I love Liverpool, I did get to the point where I was sick of the colour red by the end of it. I was like, oh, I'm seeing red as I'm going to sleep. But it was worth it. And it was a bit of a horrifying experience when I first got the books because they printed them all. So if there was any mistake or anything, it was all on me. And when they first came, I cried. I got the first one up. I was like, I can't look at it. I'm too scared. I was like a nervous wreck. So I gave it to my dad. Dad, read it. If there's any mistakes, I don't think I want to know. And then Dad's being dad. My dad goes, "You missed an E off the name under your name." I was like, "Shut up, Dad." So, but there wasn't anything.
But Dad's fault,
I know. So yeah, as I say, like it sold so much better than I had even hoped for. So, and it's great because it's not like it's not dated, any, because we've got so many legends and stuff. It's still, this one's been out for 4 years now, and everything in it is still relevant. So. And it's great as well seeing on World Book Day people taking the book in, and the parents love me because all you have to do is put a Liverpool kit on and go, "This is my World Book Day outfit." They don't have to bother making anything. But someone sent their child as Jurgen Klopp once, and oh God, it was brilliant. The cap, the glasses, the book, it was just, I loved it. So seeing those pictures, it's just brilliant.
Well, I mean, like you said though, because it's got all these legends in it. I mean, these days everything's social media. Especially with kids, they've got the mobiles and everything, but there's no stories there really for them. And
Yeah.
I think it's great. Like, I mean, for my kids, like I was telling you before, they only watch the game because I watch it.
Yeah.
They see the adulation from me. They see me, the frustration. They see me angry. They see me crying sometimes, But a book like yours, you can actually sit down with them and be like, "Look, this is what who Grandad liked."
Yeah.
That this is who my dad liked. Well, not my dad, because he was into rugby. He thought footballers were sissies. But it's just a book you can sit down with your family and just go over, which I think
Yeah,
I find really great. And
yeah.
as a Liverpool supporter myself, I'm so proud to see that you're proud. Like, I mean,
Oh,
you've got that picture of you at the official store.
yeah.
You're beaming from ear to ear, and again, that's what it's all about.
Well, it's funny because it first went into store on my dad's birthday. It was just before Christmas 2019. And I was like, come on, Dad, come to the store with me. Let's go and see it in the flesh. And, when I saw it, I was just like, oh my God, like, couldn't believe it. I was buying loads of them. As I say, like, you don't really want to peak, do you? Like, too soon, but I do feel like I have. But I'm still waiting. I really want to meet Kenny because obviously the boy is called Kenny, Kenny Fee. And Kenny Dalglish. I talked a lot about John Barnes, but I've always just loved Kenny Dalglish so much. And it's one of my dreams. Kenny and Jürgen. I won't be happy till I've met both of them. That's my next thing that I've got to get the universe working on for me.
You need to start hanging out in Formby then and watching.
My friends just moved to Formby, so I think that's going to be the plan. Yeah.
I mean, Kenny, he's just, I've had so many amazing guests on here, like ex-footballers, but for Kenny, he's just the top, isn't he?
Yeah.
Probably for Kenny, I would be starstruck. I don't think the words would come out of my mouth.
I'd be the same. I think I'd just be like, well, when I did the Celtic book, obviously I was like, Kenny's getting in this Celtic book. So I've just done another book for Celtic, actually, a sticker activity book. So I had to, it was like I was working till 3:00 in the morning, creating it the other week, and I was like, drawing a sticker of Kenny Dalglish at 3:00 in the morning, like the things I get up to. But so I love the fact that I could put him in that as well one day. But the problem with me is I know I don't come across it like I could gab for England, but I am quite shy in putting myself for. Like, I get all like, oh no, there's some people who would just be like, oi, come over. I can't do that. I'm like, oh no. Like when it was James Milner's last game, I took 2 books for him to start. I packaged them and everything and wrote a little thing in, and I was desperate because he's actually in the text in the second book, and I was like desperate to somehow get it to him. Him and Bobby, I did one for him, one for Bobby, and I did give it to one of the staff because where we sit is right behind the dugout, so it's very handy. So I did give it to one of the staff. I don't know. I put my business card in, but he hasn't been in touch. So, but I don't know. I wanted to meet Bobby as well. He was my other I was just obsessed with Bobby, but he did. We had a massive banner on his last game, and he did wave to us, and he did say we were going, come over, and he did say he was going to come over. His mum was like, oh, like that, but then he didn't at the end, and the steward was like, come on, you've got to leave, and I was like, no. Bobby said he's coming over. I am not leaving. Nearly got shut out. So I hope he got the book, because I did the little fish in there. Firmino the fish, he's got his fin, like his celebration where he puts his bearded his fin over his eye. I wanted him to see that, but whether he has or not, I don't know. But people would be really in their inboxes, and I'm not like that. I hold back because I don't like bothering people, but I do need to be a little bit more forceful, I think.
Well, that's the thing, especially these days. If you don't take your chance, it just pass you by. I've been given so many. Probably a year ago, no, probably about 2 years ago during the podcast, I'd been given, ex-players phone numbers, and I just wouldn't call them because I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I've got an American-based podcast. Do you want to be on it? And I think it was more of like rejection. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
I think that's what. Yeah.
Now somebody gives me an ex-player's number, I'm calling them because it's either yes or no. That's it.
I think that's what it is with me. Like, I feel like I don't want to bother them, and I don't want them to, like, I don't know, ignore me or whatever. So I just kind of like shy away from the whole thing. But I did get someone when it first came out. Somebody had a connection with Klopp, and I gave him a book for him and gave him one to sign for me. And he did. He put to Helen, "You never walk alone," Klopp, and a smiley face. So I was absolutely delighted with that. But it's mad sitting so close to him in the match, but like he's still yet so far away. Like he's, in like spitting distance, but he's still out of reach. So yeah, one day that book will come.
Of course it will. Well, I know you can buy the book at the official store, but where else can everyone get the book from?
Well, if you go onto my website, helenpoole.com, Poole with an E on the end, not like Liverpool. I think my dad probably wanted to call me Liver when I was born, to be honest. Imagine that. But yeah, if you go onto there, there's a link to the shop, and it'll take you to my Etsy store, and I can sign them, to whoever. I usually put two, and then "You Never Walk Alone," and then signature, and I can post them anywhere. I've had quite a lot of orders from America. So yeah, happy to post worldwide. I just want as many Reds to read it, really, and enjoy it.
Now they can get 2 books, and the postage will probably still be the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, 2 books. And the postage is the same, whatever. So
you can't beat that.
No, I know. Bargain of the year. And I'm dead busy at the minute because it's Christmas. Getting a lot of orders in. So perfect Christmas stocking fillers.
Yeah.
Got a big stock that'll fit one.
I wish you the biggest success, and whatever you do next, I'm sure it'll be bigger than your first 2. But again, always makes me proud, that other people are doing really well. As we talked earlier a bit about, the jealousy part, that's out the window. Any Scouser that's doing well,
yeah,
as my vote. You're doing something that you love for
yeah,
a football team that you love. I mean, there's no negatives about that.
no. The more the merrier, isn't it? Like, use your creative talents and put them to good use for someone that you love. It's your passion, isn't it? So don't hide your light under a bushel. That's my new motto.
Your new T-shirt.
Yeah, I'll get a slogan T-shirt made with that.
Everybody, please go check out Helen's book. It's cheap as chips as well.
£7, yeah, so £15 for the 2.
Yeah, so I think that's about like $8.50. I think.
Yeah,
which is again just cheaper. Yeah, please go check out a book. Don't just check it out. Buy the book. If you've got kids, that'll bring the kids up to date with all the legends and stuff. And there's a story about it. So yeah, please go out and get it. We'll just have a quick chat. I know you were at the match in the freezing cold.
yeah.
But what a match to
it was a roller coaster, wasn't it? A roller coaster of emotion. Just like, the first goal, which I can't believe Trent never got given that goal. I mean, it was his goal, wasn't it? Oh. Magnificent. And then McAllister's goal, like, because we're right behind the dugout. We're pitch side, so you kind of see it as a different angle to what you do on like Match of the Day. But it was still like from where we were sat, we were like, oh my God, that is some goal, that. And then when I watched it again on Match of the Day, I was like, bloody, like it's even better than I remember live. But then, you know, to let them back into it, it was like, oh. And then because we were so cold and wet, I thought, if I froze myself for nothing again. But the weirdest thing was when they scored the third goal, me friend who sit by, her dad only passed away last year, and it's his seat that I've been sitting in. And she was like, come on, Dad, you know, come on. And she looked at her phone, and her phone was ringing her dad. But she had her gloves on, and her phone was locked. I know. So she went like that to me, look. And I went, the pair of us were like, and I said, that's your dad saying it's going to be okay. And then next minute we scored 2 goals. So I was like, I told you it was your dad, you know. It was so bizarre, really bizarre. So
ever quivered.
I know, it was really like, I witnessed it. I was like, that is so bizarre, but lovely as well. And you just can't beat the celebration of like a late winner, can you? It's just the best feeling ever. You can't top it. And you know, you don't even care if you bash your leg, and you know, it's quite nice actually waking up with match related injuries after we've won, isn't it? You're like, oh yeah, like got your war wounds on your legs and stuff.
I mean, it's one of those where at 3-2, you know, I honestly was like, it's going to be one of those games. And then, you know, when Endo came on, you know, I was chatting to me mates, and they're all kind of saying, why are we bringing on a defensive midfielder? We're 3-2 down. And then, you know, within 5 minutes, he scores that rocket. And I think when he scored that, I was like, we're winning this. You could,
yeah. I thought we would. I could feel it. But yeah, there were so many people on Twitter like going, for God's sake, what's he doing bringing Endo on? And then they were all like, you were saying.
Well, so, a couple of morons like left on the 85th minute.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. If I'm going to go to a match, I'm staying. You know, whether you win, lose, or draw, I mean, you stay, don't you? So I don't understand why you would leave.
Yeah, I know. Like I've never left, because you just don't know what's going to happen, do you? And you know what we're like? We tend to leave things till the dying seconds. So yeah, I know people get off to get the car and all that, but I just don't see the point. Just stay it out to the end.
You can wait. You can wait.
Yeah, just wait. Yeah. But I had the misfortune of missing probably one of the best matches ever, the Barcelona match. I was on a plane coming home from Crete with my other friend who's a season ticket holder as well, and we missed the entire match, the entire thing. And my family group, when I remember sitting on the plane, and my family Liverpool group, I put on there something like, oh, next time when I land, I expect to see that we've won 4-0. And they were like, my uncle actually texts back, dream on. And all through the flight, I was thinking, I know what's going on now. I know what's happening. And then, honestly, I'm not kidding you, as soon as the wheels touched the tarmac, I was like, that, get on live score. And when I saw it, I was just like, and I said to me mate, we won. And she was like, what? So I passed her the phone. I've got goosebumps here just talking about it, because it was just so mad. And then I put on my phone, and like all my messages in the group were like, Helen would believe this when she lands. And none of them could wait for me to land. They were like, hurry up so we can talk about it. But I don't even remember going through passport control or anything, because I was on like such a high. I was like, I can't believe this, you know. It was brilliant. But yeah, I can imagine the atmosphere there must have been like amazing. Oh,
I've got the opposite story. I actually watched. I wasn't there. I was in Austin. I watched the match, but I nearly missed my flight back home
oh,
because I was celebrating too much,
oh
and,
God.
and I didn't want to leave the pub. But I'm
Oh
just,
yeah.
oh, all right. If I leave in another 10 minutes, and I got there right on time. The,
God.
the,
We were both at airports
Yeah, I'll tell you what, those 9 hours were the best 9 hours on a plane I've ever had because
yeah, yeah.
we've got the scarves and we're all just like chanting on the plane, and the flight attendants, two of them were Chelsea supporters,
Oh
but
weird.
they were really, really good with us. They gave us like extra bevies and stuff, and they were like,
Yeah,
just enjoy it because
yeah,
you're gonna lose in the final. And we're like, who cares? Right now,
yeah.
just beat
Well,
Barcelona 4-0. You know,
yeah,
nobody expected it. So it was probably the best flight I've ever been on in my life. But I
yeah,
nearly missed it. But yeah, it's just, we've had so many of these nights at Anfield, and
yeah.
plenty more. But I'm
Oh,
gonna bring I'm gonna bring this to a close, Helen. Again, I really appreciate you coming on.
no worries.
It's a while, but it's I, I'm I feel like you're a mate now.
Yeah, we're busies now.
Yeah, and I hope to when I do come back home, go for a pint. Not for
Yeah,
wine because you and wine bottles don't seem to go well
yeah.
together.
I'm
Stay,
traumatized.
stay
Yeah,
up.
no. I'll drive. I'll be designated driver just to be on the safe side.
There you go, because
And
I'll be out.
we might bump into Jurgen, mightn't we?
Yeah, well, as long as I don't step in the dog shit, I'm all right. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Again, please go and buy Helen's book. Please like and subscribe. Put your notifications on.